One boy, two girls who both grew up loving him, and a secret neither of them knows the other is keeping. What starts as an innocent reunion between childhood friends spirals into something far messier than anyone expected. By the end of this, you'll be asking yourself who really deserves him, if anyone does.
She is not enough for you. The line has already been crossed before we even understand it. He says no. He means it. But the girl pressed against him isn't listening, and her smile says she never planned to. The whisper that follows lands like a blade. In that case, let's keep this a secret from your girlfriend. One sentence, and suddenly this isn't an innocent reunion anymore. Whoever she is, she already knows exactly how to take everything apart. Rewind, because none of this makes sense yet. Haruka is the quiet type, the kind of guy whose friend launches across the classroom just to shove a phone in his face. The friend is losing his mind over something that released today, something that's on a whole other level. Haruka barely reacts, which only makes his friend more desperate to share it. But the second Haruka actually sees what's on that screen, his whole composure cracks. It's a photo book, a gravure idol's photo book, fresh off the shelves, and the friend is practically vibrating with envy. He can't believe someone like this could ever be tied to plain, reserved Haruka, so he leans in close and asks the question that's been burning in him. Has Haruka ever done anything dirty with her? Because this idol, this impossibly cute girl, is supposedly Haruka's childhood friend. Haruka shoves the thought away like it physically hurts. He'd never look at his childhood friend that way, he insists, his face betraying every word. The friend just grins wider, needling him about how, for a guy with a girlfriend, he reacts like a total beginner. Haruka snaps that it has nothing to do with that he didn't ask for any of this teasing. And right as the friend dangles the photo book like a prize for poor, love-starved Haruka, a new voice cuts clean through the noise. The voice belongs to Suzuka, and she is everything the idol isn't on the surface. Composed, lovely, apologizing for being late because a committee meeting ran long, top grades, perfectly poised, the kind of girl who makes the whole room straighten up when she walks in. The friend nearly weeps from jealousy, asking how Haruka got this blessed, and Suzuka, soft and certain, just tells him not to worry. Let's go home. So here's the setup laid bare. Suzuka is the childhood friend who became the girlfriend, brilliant and ladylike and devoted. The idol, Ria, is the other childhood friend, the one who became famous. Two girls from the same past, two completely different orbits, and Haruka sitting dead center between them. His friend calls it a miracle. Haruka clearly feels something heavier underneath. The memories soften him, just for a moment. Suzuka thanking him for helping her study, crediting him for a test that went better than usual. She confessed to him back in middle school, and they've been together ever since. Simple, steady, real. She's cute, she's affectionate, and Haruka quietly believes she's completely out of his league. For a second, it almost looks like a boy at peace with his happiness. Then his friend can't help himself, circling back to the photo book one more time. Did Haruka see Ria's release? And something in Haruka's expression shifts, because Ria isn't just a face on a screen to him. He hasn't laid eyes on her since she moved away in middle school. The name alone seems to pull at a thread he'd rather leave untouched. Petals drift, the sky opens up, and the past hangs heavy in the air between them. He admits it out loud. He hasn't seen Ria since she left, not once. The distance has lasted years, frozen at the exact moment she vanished from his life. And then, mid-thought, a hand slips into his, and a quiet voice says, "Come here." Suzuka is pulling him aside, and the warmth of the present yanks him out of the ghost of the past. She tugs him somewhere private, somewhere just for the two of them. He protests that they're outside, that anyone could see, but she's already decided. In that case, she murmurs, "Can they go somewhere?" And the question hangs there, loaded. Her face is flushed, her eyes searching his. "To your house," she finishes, and the air between them changes completely. There's a tenderness here that's almost painful to watch. Suzuka glows when she's near him, treasuring the fact that she's the only one who gets to see this particular look on Haruka's face. She means it as devotion, as something precious that belongs to her alone. But Haruka, flustered and red, mistakes the sweetness for teasing and asks if she's mocking him. He has no idea how much weight she's putting on every second of this. The afternoon drifts toward evening, and Suzuka says she should head home. But before she goes, she pauses. Does she have something on her back? Haruka stops her, tells her to turn around for a second, and she blinks in confusion. There's something he's been holding on to, something he picked out himself. His fingers move toward the clasp of a delicate necklace. He fastens it around her neck, suddenly shy about the whole thing. He just grabbed what he liked, he mumbles. So if it's not her style, she doesn't have to wear it. But Suzuka spins back to face him and says, "That's not it at all." She reaches up and helps adjust it, the two of them tangled in a clumsy, blushing closeness. This is what they are, gentle, awkward, two kids who genuinely care for each other. But the scene tilts, and a different presence floods the frame. Long, pale hair, a voice calling Haruka downstairs, asking if the food's ready. He says it's too early, distracted, off balance, and then someone exhales right beside him, close enough to feel. The page snaps with a single startled cry, and everything we thought was settled begins to dissolve. Suddenly, there's a girl in Haruka's room, and she is not Suzuka. "You've grown a lot," she beams, looking him up and down like she's reclaiming lost time. Haruka can barely form words. Is Ria here? She is. She wanted to see Harukun so badly that she came all the way back, and now she's standing close enough that he can't think straight. His mother, easygoing, delighted, has already swept Ria up, offering cake and suggesting she wait in Haruka's room. Ria lights up like a kid promised a treat. Haruka tries to object, asks if his opinion means nothing to anyone, and gets cheerfully steamrolled. Just like the old times, Ria laughs. Why not? And just like that, the idol from the photo book is sitting in his bedroom as if no years had passed at all. The reunion overflows with nostalgia, all warmth and "it's been so long." They reminisce about the games they used to play, how Ria was a sore loser who demanded round after round until she finally won. Haruka finds himself talking more naturally than he expected, the rust falling away. For a flicker of a moment, it really is just two old friends catching up. But Ria is already drifting around the room, eyes scanning, hunting for something. "Hey, don't go snooping without asking," Haruka protests too late, because Ria has already found it. A copy of her own photo book, sitting right there in his room. Her whole face changes, soft and stunned and unbearably pleased. He bought it? She's so happy, she breathes, and then, dangerously sweet, she asks which picture is his favorite. She holds the book and leans in, that playful menace creeping into her smile. Has Harukun been doing naughty things with this? She purrs, watching him squirm. He chokes out a denial, then another, the heat crawling up his neck. The teasing is featherlight and absolutely lethal, and she knows exactly what she's doing. She has him completely off the rails, and she's only just begun. Haruka tries to hold the line, blurting out the truth. He has a girlfriend. Ria already knows. She clocked the girl's belongings in his room the moment she walked in, and rather than backing off, she steps closer, her voice dropping into something deliberate. "In that case," she says, "even more so. The exact words from the very beginning. And now we understand the trap was always closing." Then she lowers her guard entirely, and the room goes electric. "It's okay," she tells him, soft and dangerous all at once. The moment teeters on the edge of something neither of them can walk back from. And right as the air grows unbearable, his mother's voice rings up the stairs. "Haruka, could you help hold this for a second?" The interruption is the only thing keeping the whole house from going up in flames. The spell breaks, and Ria pulls back with a knowing little laugh. "Just for the record," she says lightly, "that was only practice." Haruka stares at her, the word ricocheting around his skull. Practice? Practice for what? For whom? The bottom drops out of everything he thought he understood about this reunion. She tells him she wasn't trying to do anything weird to him, brushing it off like it's nothing. He stammers for her to just put her clothes back on, and she agrees with an easy, "sure," that somehow makes it worse. There's a glint in her eye that says this is a game she fully intends to keep playing. And Haruka, watching her, draws one desperate conclusion. He must avoid being alone with this girl at all costs. But fate has other plans, and reality lands like a slap. The classroom is empty, the desks are bare, and there she is, sitting on one of them in the school uniform, smiling like she owns the place. The real Ria is just too cute, and he never once imagined she'd transfer here. His childhood friend, the gravure idol, is now a student at his school. The wall he tried to build between them just got demolished overnight. And of course, she's an instant sensation. Boys swarm her the moment she appears, and her looks make her impossible to ignore. That body, that face, that effortless charm. Haruka watches from the sidelines as half the school orbits her. Guys are already lining up, telling her she's beautiful, gushing that they bought her photo book. She deflects each one with a sweet laugh, flattered, untouchable, dazzling. Then she crosses the room, slips her hand onto Haruka's shoulder, and announces the homeroom teacher wants to see them both. He lets himself be led away. And he knows. He knew it the second she touched him. The way she singled him out, the way she leaned in, it was never about a teacher. The lie was just an excuse to pull him somewhere alone. The moment they're out of earshot, she drops the act entirely. He spits out that he thought she was actually in trouble, that yesterday she never said a word about transferring. She just smiles. The teacher thing was a lie, obviously. She figured he'd put it together once he saw her in the uniform. And Haruka, mortified, realizes the truth he doesn't want to admit out loud. Because yesterday, his mind was so full of Ria that he couldn't think about anything else. He'd told himself, told everyone, that he was just worried she was in some kind of danger. But that was the cover story. In reality, his thoughts had been somewhere else entirely. Somewhere they had no business being. The cracks in his own honesty are starting to show, and he can feel them widening. She throws him off balance every single time, and he hates how easily she does it. Then a new voice cuts in. Ria-chan? Suzuka has appeared, sweet and bright, and the floor seems to vanish beneath Haruka's feet. Long time no see, Ria chirps, completely unbothered. She moved back, she announces, like it's the happiest news in the world. What follows is almost unbearable to watch. Ria sweeps Suzuka into a hug, gushing that she's gotten so much cuter since they last saw each other. Suzuka, flustered and delighted, insists Ria's the cute one, completely oblivious to the undercurrent in the room. Hearts and warmth flood the panel while Haruka stands frozen off to the side. The single word stamped across the moment says it all. Awkward. The two girls fall into each other like no time has passed, and Haruka is drowning. Ria, openly mischievous now, wonders aloud whether maybe Haru-kun would like a hug too. Suzuka gasps, half scandalized, half curious. And in that gap, Ria turns her attention back to him with a look that promises trouble. Hey Ria, he warns, but it's already too late to stop whatever she's decided to do. The conversation drifts to logistics. Did she come back alone? No, her mom came with her, since they'll be shooting more in Tokyo now. There's a quieter reason underneath though. Her mother didn't want them to grow apart. The idea hangs in the air like a question Haruka isn't ready to answer. Can the three of them really go back to spending time together? Just like in the past? And is it even okay for them to try? Then Ria leans in once more, lowering her voice to something only he can hear. Perhaps, she murmurs. Did it feel better than doing it with your girlfriend? The question is obscene in its casualness, designed to detonate. Haruka reels, and the whole fragile piece of this reunion teeters on the edge. She's not just playing anymore. She's aiming straight at the thing he can't defend. He cries out her name, scandalized, and she just laughs it off. Did she surprise him? Yeah, he admits. But anyway, and he can't even finish the sentence. Right on cue, Suzuka pops back in, wondering where the two of them disappeared to. Quick as a flash, the cover story slides into place. Haru-kun offered to treat them both to a cafe. So, the three of them end up at a cafe together, an uneasy little triangle over iced drinks. Ria fills the silence with a story about a photo shoot gone wrong, how furious she was to discover the wrong swimsuit had been packed. Suzuka winces in sympathy, saying that must have been so hard. Haruka mutters, almost to himself, that Ria already does risky shoots like that anyway. And the gap between the girl on the page and the idol on the magazine cover suddenly feels razor thin. The two girls lean their heads together over a phone, all giggles and warmth. But something's wrong with Haruka, and Ria notices instantly. What's the matter? She asks, that sly edge returning. His face. It's gone completely red, hasn't it? She catches him in it like a hunter spotting movement in the grass. She presses harder, delighting in his discomfort. Were you picturing me? She asks, her smile widening. He denies it again and again, swearing he wasn't. But she's not buying a word of it, and neither is Suzuka. Because Suzuka has gone quiet, and she says evenly that she knows he's been looking at Ria-chan this whole time. There it is, the first real fracture, spoken aloud by the one person who wasn't supposed to see. They walk home, the air strained, and Haruka tells Ria to keep her distance. She plays innocent, asking what he means by weird things. He says it plainly. Keep your distance, walk further away. But she just shrugs, because their houses sit right next to each other, and distance was never something either of them could really keep. She circles back to the wound, because of course she does. How far has he gone with Suzuka? She asks, and when he refuses to answer, she fills in the blanks herself. Kissing is out of the question, he insists. Was it her first time? She wonders aloud, then teases that they clearly haven't slept together. Haruka, scrambling, mutters, maybe not, just to make her stop, and instantly regrets it. Then she stops the games and gets terrifyingly direct. He doesn't want Suzuka to get the wrong idea, so he begs her to stop. But she'll be straight with him too. Stop, he says. For Ria to finally get the message, that should be enough, and he tells himself it's settled, that he's drawn the line at last. She lets the silence stretch, then drops the words that will haunt him. You're definitely going to end up cheating on her, Haru-kun. Because the way he looks at her versus the way he looks at Suzuka, it's totally, completely different. It's not an accusation. It's a prophecy delivered with a smile. and the worst part is the flicker in his eyes that says some part of him already fears she's right. Alone, he unravels. What is he supposed to do? He asks the empty room. The thought won't leave him, won't let him breathe. He sinks into his chair, phone in hand, turning her words over and over. What exactly was Ria thinking? And why can't he stop wondering? His phone lights up, and so does she. The things he's never done before, Haru-kun, the message teases. And things that go way beyond that. The image attached is everything he's been trying not to look at. A single notification ping cuts through the quiet of his room like a gunshot. The temptation isn't a person across the hall anymore. It's right there in his hand, glowing in the dark. But to understand Ria, you have to go back further than the fame. In middle school, she was bullied, not for being plain, but for the opposite. Boys leered at her, made crude jokes about her body, treated her like a thing to be commented on. Behind glasses and a sailor uniform, she shrank under the weight of all that unwanted attention. The girl who now weaponizes her own allure was once trapped by it. The boys circled her with hunger in their eyes, and the girls froze her out for drawing too much notice. She was isolated from every direction, punished for a body she never asked for. Why me? She'd wonder, staring out a classroom window. Why is all of this because of this body? It was a cage she couldn't escape, no matter how small she made herself. And one person reached into that cage. Young Haruka, wanting to protect her from all of them, became her shelter. He'd ask if she wanted to keep playing their game, offer to lend his jacket, draw her out of the corners she hid in. On a school trip to Okinawa, he wouldn't let her waste the day shrinking against a rock. Come on, he'd say. Everyone's already at the beach. He was the one good thing in a world that had turned cruel. That's the boy Ria remembers, and maybe the boy she came back for. But the present interrupts the past. Ria is in his room again, let in by his easygoing mother while he was busy. She apologizes for not knocking, says she didn't know he was occupied, and then her tone shifts into something softer, more deliberate. There's something she wants to show him, she says, and her fingers find the knot of her tie. She decided something, she tells him, slowly loosening the fabric. Who wouldn't look at someone like this that way? She knows the power she holds now. That's exactly why she made up her mind that she would be the only one. The strap of her top slips, and the words catch in her throat. But she starts, and can't finish, because the weight of what she's confessing is finally too much to carry. Past and present blur together in a single breath. Suzuka's voice asks what's wrong, that today he seemed different. At the same moment, present Ria leans into Haruka, phone in hand, the two timelines bleeding into one. Since, the word floats, incomplete, between two girls and one trapped boy. Everything he's been juggling is starting to collapse into the same unbearable point. The split tears him in half. On the phone, Suzuka gently asks if he's hiding something from her, and he lies. Of course not. Meanwhile, Ria is everywhere, breathing his name over and over, Haru-kun, until it fills the whole room. He wants to focus on Suzuka, he tells himself, clinging to that intention. But Ria's whispers are a tide, and Suzuka, on the other end of the line, softly apologizes for ever doubting him. He realizes he couldn't properly say what he meant to say. The truth, the thing he actually needs to admit, isn't the lie he just told Suzuka, because no matter how hard he tries, he can't stop thinking about Ria. Her name, her presence, the heat of her, flashing through his mind on an endless loop. And if she keeps doing this, keeps pressing against every wall he builds, he doesn't know how much longer the wall holds. He hangs up, and Suzuka quietly asks what's wrong on her end. Nothing, he says, it's nothing. But the panel tells a different story. Ria curled against him on the bed, the phone trembling in his grip. A single bead of sweat rolls down, and her hand rises to her mouth in that knowing way. She's watching him lie to his girlfriend in real time, and she looks like she's enjoying every second of it. The call wraps up. Sunday, he confirms. He's free. The connection cut out for a moment. He explains away the strange pause, the suspicious silence. See you, he says, and ends it. The screen still glowing with Suzuka's name. Then it hits him. Good thing she didn't find out. This isn't good at all, he thinks, and the dread in his chest says he already knows where this road ends. He turns on Ria, finally pushing back. Cut it out, he tells her. She's taking these jokes way too far. Suzuka is the one and he can't even complete the thought. Suzuka is a good girl, he insists, and he doesn't want her to get hurt. It's the most honest thing he's said in pages, and it lands with real weight. But Ria doesn't flinch. Of course you don't want to hurt her, she says, even though you actually prefer me. The words slice clean through his defenses. He stares at her, the accusation hanging in the air like smoke, and rather than fight it, he just says he's going home, to which she calls his name, surprised. as the ground shifts under both of them again. Alone in the bathroom, he tries to wash it all away. Hopefully, he thinks, Suzuka didn't notice anything today. He splashes water on his face, exhausted, hollowed out by his own deception. Then his phone buzzes. A new message from Ria. Her name on the screen pulls his stomach into a knot all over again. "I'm sorry about today," the message reads. Is it another picture? He wonders, dread and something else twisting together. "Do I need to spell it out for you?" She fires back, and his composure shatters. A tear slips down his cheek, the strain finally leaking out. And across the way, in her own dark room, Ria sits curled and small over her phone. What, he wonders, is up with her? But the story pivots, and a colder thread emerges. A photo shoot, a camera, a man directing Ria to bring her hands up to her chest. "Perfect, Ria-chan," the voice praises, and she obeys, asking if it's like this. The lens clicks, capturing every angle of the girl whose body once made her a target. The industry that promises her dreams is built on the very thing that once caged her. Then it's Sunday, and a different reunion begins. Haruka waits, and Suzuka arrives early in soft, pretty clothes, asking if he's been waiting long. He has a hobby, he confesses haltingly. But he doesn't know if she'll like it. There's a vulnerability here he never shows. A door he's nervously cracking open. "Where are they going today?" she asks, and he leads her towards something he's clearly afraid to reveal. The hobby reveals itself in a spray of fake blood and lurching zombies. It's a haunted attraction, gory and shrieking, ghouls reaching for them from every direction. Suzuka's eyes go wide, her legs visibly shaking, but she grits her teeth and asks if it's not good. Haruka, mortified, insists it's not scary at all, even as he's clearly rattled too. Two terrified kids, holding it together for each other's sake. It's tender and ridiculous all at once. And then Suzuka does the bravest thing. "Don't worry," she says, a small giggle slipping out. If he's scared, she's right here with him. She offers her hand, telling him to hold it if he gets frightened. The sweetness of it cuts straight through the horror around them. This is what real partnership looks like. They survive it, barely, stumbling out into daylight. That was so scary. Haruka exhales, and Suzuka asks if he's okay. He knew it was a bad idea, he says, apologizing for dragging her through it. "No," she says quickly. "Let's come back another time." Even shaking with fear, she's already promising him a next time, and the loyalty of it is almost heartbreaking. But the day isn't over, and Suzuka isn't ready to go home. "It's still early, isn't it?" she points out, asking what the plan is now. Haruka hesitates, then admits there's actually somewhere he wants to go. "Huh? Where?" she asks, watching him carefully. Whatever he's about to suggest, it's clearly costing him every ounce of his nerve. And here, the perfect girlfriend reveals her secret.